I believe you're a divine invitation. That's actually the subtitle of my book, Divine Invitations to Your Authentic Self. So here's what you're going to discover to live, that you can live your most vibrantly authentic life ever. I used to not believe that. I used to believe that if I didn't, had no choice, you know. But this is for you if, and here's folks that sometimes are on this call. You might go back and forth. You're still trying to figure this out, kind of like how I was with my therapist. And you kind of made a decision to leave. Or there's some that they've already made a decision to leave, but you can't avoid interactions with the former spouse or the former partner, but you just can't be yourself and feel like you're in this black hole. Or you courageously left that toxic relationship. You'd like to be more calm, take control of conversations that matter. So yes, we're going to discover how to stay calm when conversations or when things go sideways. Get clear with what you're dealing with. In my case, I didn't know if it was neurodiversity or narcissism. I just didn't know. I think take control of conversations that matter. So if you've tried making changes to improve your relationship, you're still walking on eggshells, just one thing I want you to know, it's not your fault. I really want people to know this when they come to something like this. We didn't know that all the subconscious patterns are happening in the brain. And as humans, we've been conditioned to move toward pleasure away from pain. We all survived our childhood, and our brains are being formed before we can figure anything out. And so of our 60,000 thoughts a day, over 95% of those are pre-programmed and automatic. So and the brain looks for what's familiar. This is me. I'm the little girl in the yellow dress with the binoculars around her neck, and I'm surrounded by my cousins and my bossy sister next to me. I'd like to think the binoculars around my neck, even though this picture was taken before my conscious memory, I'd like to think that, I was designed to be curious, looking through binoculars about relationships. So anyway, but yeah, we inadvertently take those in to our adult relationships. And even like how we related to our parents or our siblings, that makes a difference. So it's not your fault. But it's our responsibility to increase our awareness, become more aware. And if we don't, we're going to end up being like Bill Murray's character. Do you remember seeing, or did you ever see the movie Groundhog Day? He lives the same day over and over. Right. And even though my two husbands were really polar opposites as far as, their personalities and all, there were still some familiar things that came up. And I think that's unavoidable. It's like it's an invitation to grow and be aware, right, about how you're showing up in the relationship. So, but anyway, if of anything, just have grace for yourself. And well, let me move on, because some of that awareness ends today doesn't do it all, because it takes a lifetime really to be more aware. We all know how to imagine when we're kids. We've got, we pretend to be princesses and live in castles or whatever, and then we lose that. And so if you could just if you want to close your eyes, you can do that, or you can keep them open, because I got some great slides here too. If you could look up and just feel deep in your bones that you are deeply lovable, and just imagine that and feel that. Or you might even imagine yourself on a retreat experience, and you know that everything at home is taken care of, and you are there just to nurture your soul. But imagine feeling like more alive than you ever have, and sitting by the ocean with the love of your life, the person who really gets you to the core of your being. So we're going to clear up the elephant in the room, because you might be saying, well, you'd have tried everything. This is how it's always been. I can't create any more stress if I do any changing, whatever. The thing is, in order to stop walking on eggshells, is to invite you into this vibrantly beautiful part of your life. You're walking on the sand. It feels beautiful and cool on your feet. So You just need to change those automatic thoughts, and you might ask yourself how. This is the C.A.L.M method that I want to introduce you to. So we have the C. I'm going to give you an overview first of all. The C is to clarify values and other crucial factors that you might be dealing with, such as whether it's narcissism or neurodiversity. Then we're going to awaken subconscious patterns on the A of the C.A.L.M. And then L is to leverage air breathing, but learning the value of other modalities, sound healing, deep breathing, so leveraging air breathing and other things that can really, because all these feelings and all these experiences, they get embedded in a very cellular level in our bodies. So how to leverage that, and then the M is to master conversations, certain conversations.